Today we're looking at Article 3, Section 1, 2, and 3 of the U.S. Constitution. Hello and welcome to the Daily Bellringer. Please don't forget to subscribe and take a look at the questions down in the description. Also, don't forget to check out the worksheet in the description that goes along with this video, available at dailybellringer.com. The United States Constitution provides the framework for the U.S. government and creates three branches: legislative, executive, and judicial. Article 1 of the Constitution established and organized the legislative branch, which makes laws. Article 2 established and organized the executive branch, or the presidency of the United States, whose primary function is to make sure laws are executed or carried out. But now Article 3 lays out and defines the judicial branch, whose primary function is to interpret the Constitution and decide the constitutionality of laws and resolve arguments about federal laws. So in many situations, there are laws that have been passed by Congress that then an individual, an institution, or in many cases states argue are not consistent with the Constitution. These cases will be heard by the Supreme Court that will make the final decision on whether those laws are or are not in agreement with the Constitution. Article 3 only consists of 3 sections, and of all the articles organizing the government, Article 3 is the most vague or unclear about the exact structure of the branch. Section 1 of Article 3 establishes the Supreme Court as the highest court in the United States. It then goes on to state that judges that are appointed to the Supreme Court by the President, remember that's a power given to the President in Article 2, but justices can serve for life or as long as they are on good behavior, basically obeying laws. Remember, this is very important because presidents generally appoint judges that share similar ideas and beliefs to that president. So long after a president is out of office, a Supreme Court justice can still be making decisions that reflect the president that appointed them. So for example, currently our longest serving justice is Clarence Thomas, who was appointed by President George H.W. Bush back in 1991. So he's been on the court now for right at 30 years. Now, a justice may serve until their death, but they may choose to retire as well. Interestingly, the founders did not exactly define how many Supreme Court justices there should be on the Supreme Court. Instead, that has basically been left up to Congress to decide. Initially, there were only 6 justices, and the number changed several times until 1869, when it was decided 9 judges should be on the court, and it has remained that number since then. As mentioned earlier, the Supreme Court is the highest court in the country, so it is the final court of appeals. And what I mean by that is there are 13 appellate courts or appeals courts under the Supreme Court. So not every case necessarily makes it to the Supreme Court to be decided on. It is actually a very lengthy and expensive process to get a case to the Supreme Court. An argument or a case against a law will basically start out in local courts, and if someone does not like the decision and has the resources to push it further, they can appeal the decision. An appeal is a request to have a higher court or authority review the decision of a lower court. And you can appeal and appeal and appeal, but the end of the appeal process is the U.S. Supreme Court. Section 2 of Article 3 defines what kinds of cases the Supreme Court will hear. Now, I could simply read the article, but real quickly, some of the types of cases are cases in which the United States is a party, or in other words, if someone sues the United States, or any case that questions the U.S. Constitution or law, or cases that involve one or more states or the citizens of one or more states. But again, the Supreme Court makes the final decisions on these cases. Section 3, the last section of Article 3, defines the crime of treason. Treason is betraying your own country. And in Section 3, they basically say treason includes going to war against the United States or aiding an enemy of the United States. Remember, the Constitution was written in 1787, and they were not far removed from the American Revolution and one of the most infamous cases of treason in American history with Benedict Arnold. So many of the founders might have been thinking about that when they wrote this section. The section also goes on to say that a person cannot be found guilty of treason unless at least 2 people testify against them in court or the person admits to the crime in court. So there is Article 3, establishing the judicial branch of the government. And now we have all three branches defined, with Article 1 in the legislative branch, Article 2 in the executive branch, and Article 3 and the judicial branch. So with that, hopefully you learned something, and thanks for watching.